What are the airlines going to look like in the rest of 2020 and 2021? This is an important question because when lockdown ends in your country, we are not going to go back to normal immediately. We have to continue our physical distancing from each other until we have a vaccine. And in the most optimistic view, a vaccine is 12 to 18 months away. Now, how do you keep physically distancing on an aeroplane? This is a serious question, right? We cannot pack people into the economy class, especially of an airplane, and not spread COVID. And so airlines have been shut down and should have been shut down, at least during the lockdown. And for the rest of 2020 and 21, they are going to have to continue to be shut down unless we can secure the safety of all the passengers. Now, I think that there are a few ways that we might do this. The first is you could physically distance people on the airplane. Now, to do that, you've got to keep people 2 meters or 6 feet apart. That's not just sideways, but also front and back. And that probably means putting only one person in each row. You know, you've got 14A, 15F, 16A, 17F. That would work, except that's like 20% capacity or less on an airplane. Can airlines afford to fly their planes at 1/6 capacity? Probably not. Which means they really only can do one thing, and that is to charge much, much more. So low-cost airlines are gone in terms of their business model. We have to charge more. And that might be an option for people who have to travel. Either they have to travel for work or they distance from their families and they need to move around the world for some reason. Tourism travel, business, unnecessary travel, it's probably not going to happen in that scenario. So another option then would be to ensure that everybody on an airplane is COVID-free. But how would we ensure that? And how would you and I trust that? Well, one way would be to have tests available at the airport. So I don't know, there are different versions of COVID tests. Some of them take, just an hour or two to process and get an answer. Maybe over the next few months we can develop newer tests. But let's say, for the sake of argument, you can do a test that gives you an accurate result and it takes an hour or two to process. You could then arrive at the airport. Everybody goes in to do the test. The airports have to have some kind of isolation or at least, quite significant physical distancing set up. So some kind of temporary facilities available at the airport. You arrive at that. You go in, you do your test, you wait the 2 or 3 hours it takes to get the test done, and you come back as clear. And now you are then let in through a clear section into the airport, and now we know everybody in the airport is clear. Because if you had a test 2 days ago, that's not good enough. If you had a test a week ago, that's not good enough. Sadly, it doesn't appear good enough that you've had the disease already. COVID is beginning to mutate, and people who have had it or have been cleared of it in the past are now getting it again. So we have to do this in real time, in the moment. That costs, so I don't know what the price would be. Let's imagine it's $100 for the test. That has to be added to your ticket price. The cost of that facility and the medical staff to do the test has to be added to that. Another option, and this is probably going to happen as well, it's not really an option, it's an added thing to that, is many countries are going to be a lot more fearful of COVID coming into their countries again. And so you might have to go into self-isolation or quarantine on arrival or do another test on arrival, which again adds to the cost. So I think that's a possibility, but is that run by the airlines or is that run by the airport, or how does it work? And will every airport in the world be able to set that up? So maybe major airports in major global hubs can do that, but I don't think every airport will be able to do that. So many airports will remain closed because we can't travel. These are things we are going to have to think about because we can't really shut down global airline travel for 2 years while we wait for a vaccine. But we also can't put people on an airplane with the risk of getting COVID. We are going to have a system to allow those of us who want to get on airplanes to actually want to get on those airplanes without taking unnecessary health risks. The people who are involved in the airline industry cannot just sit back and wait for normal to come back again. The normal of the airline industry for the rest of 2020 and 2021 is going to look very different from anything we've ever had before. And maybe it will look different forever, because this isn't going to be the last COVID we ever see. This is not the last iteration of coronaviruses. It's not the 19th coronavirus. It was named for the year that it was found. But it's certainly the 10th or the 11th. We've had swine flu and H1N1 and MERS and SARS, and we will have more. And they might be worse than this. And so airline industries might be changed forever in the way that we use them and how safe they are and what we deem to be safety on board. It's no longer terrorism. It is now pandemics and the spreading of disease that needs to be contained. Airlines are going to be different forever. And the sooner we accept that and the sooner we begin to move into our new paradigm, the sooner we can get global travel and passenger travel underway again. Our team at Tomorrow Today Global looks at these sorts of issues and thinks through disruption and disruptive change. We've been doing that for 20 years, and right now it is our only focus. If we can help you and your industry to think about these issues and understand the implications of a new normal emerging, please contact us at tomorrowtodayglobal.com. We'd love to help you and work with you to shape your new normal.